Today I got with us the Southern Yankee.
Yes, sir.
Hip-hop just came out with three fire singles. Three fire singles, man. Been doing this thing, making his name known all across Atlanta. Everybody the views is going up. Everybody really been feeling the music that you've been putting out, man. And to me, it seems like it's pure, it's authentic, and it's with purpose. I want you to be able to know that, your music is inspiring. People that listen to it that don't even go to the church that I have just played it for even been inspired. And they just been touched by the words. They've been touched by, the lyrics because it's catching them to where it's hitting a nerve or they might can relate to it or whatever. I want you just to, explain to the people what you do, how you started rapping, and your testimony.
Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna try to explain it all, but make it brief at the same time so we're not here for hours.
For sure.
Well, I guess the origin of me being an artist was my pops. My pops was an artist. So like you talking like the age of like 3 to 5 years old, kind of being aware of what's going on. I watched him go on his journey, and he was like trying to get signed and all of that. He was in groups with his peoples. And like, he was on I think from what I remember, he was on the radio a couple times. He was doing shows and stuff like that. I remember my mom having me at his shows, like just kind of in the crowd while he was doing and stuff like that. It just planted that seed for me, and just experiencing like, your hero, if you could imagine, what I'm saying, your hero kind of just doing something that's obviously God-given. You know what I mean? It ain't like you being able to pick up a ball and do something with that. You know what I mean? Like it's an actual skill set that you got to be blessed with. So I watched him kind of navigate throughout his throughout his youth, and go through his motion. He was an artist, he was a DJ, producer, all of that. He helped coach me, bro. I probably started, I used to, when I was in middle school, and I'm comfortable with telling the story now. I probably would have never told the story before, but like when I was in like middle school, I used to like go to school, and like when they used to do like ciphers and stuff like that, I used to rap my pops verses. Like I used to rap it like it was mine. And they'd be like, yo, that's so dope, that's so cool, that's so cool. Not even realizing that obviously the vocabulary was way bigger than us being in middle school, bro. So they just thinking of this like, but then like once I got to high school, it was like, all right, now I want to start doing my own stuff. You know what I mean? So that's when I really started, really before high school. It was probably like 7th grade. I was like 11 years old when I started penning my own stuff, but I didn't record my first single till I was like 13 years old.
Okay.
And I was in a group at the time. I did my groups. I've been in multiple groups. I was in a group with my homies at the time. And my pops, like, he still was on his hustle, like his music hustle. He wasn't really an artist anymore around that time, but he still, like, I'm low key in the studio that he had anyway, like had set up and everything right now. So we used to record down here, and we just used to create. I used to have all my friends who did music. They used to come over after school, and we just be in the studio for hours, and just making music, bro. Just, kind of getting my reps in, just rapping, bro. Rapping about stuff I wasn't even a part of, rapping about stuff I wasn't doing for real. But it was just, me kind of just, I guess stating my claim as what I wanted to do for real. And he kind of just helped prep me. He gave me the freedom to say whatever, do whatever. You know what I'm saying? He didn't really put no clamps on me. I mean, over time, he advised me and being like, yo, man, your music could be played for a lot more people if you stop talking about these things, or if you kind of, just scale back from the cursing, scale back from this and that. But he gave me the freedom to be who I wanted to be and say what I wanted to say. So I always appreciated that. And it helped me to navigate and kind of figure out who I was as an artist, even though around that time, I didn't know who I was. Like I'm probably still learning who I am as an artist. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So that was high school, bro. I'm talking about freshman year, what is it? Sophomore year, junior year, senior year. I was known as that guy. Like he that guy before class or before school. He always outside rapping, starting a cipher. I was always that guy. Even the people who may not know my name, they know me as that guy who was out there rapping.
Yeah.
Kind of like my staple. That was kind of like how I identified myself. You know what I mean? It's like outside of rap, bro, I don't even see myself as nothing or no one for real. So high school happened. I dropped my first project, like my own personal project album, in my senior year. And this was like the week we were getting let out for school. Like the only reason I did that was because I'm like, I could give y'all this CD and I ain't never gotta see y'all again. So I ain't gotta worry about y'all being like, this is whack, this is that. And it turned out, bro, like, dude, people came in the next day of school, bro, and I was like the man, bro. Like I was like the man. They was like, bro, your CD so hard. And I guess my perception of it was like they wasn't gonna rock with it because like I'm originally from New York.
Okay.
And my parents New York, and like when I was younger, even though I had lived down here majority of my life, I always tried to keep that northern staple. Like I always tried to keep that sound.
I can hear it in your raps with your tone, your cadence, and how
Yeah.
you say certain stuff. But I didn't really know, but I could hear it because I'm like your lyrics and your punchline, like up there, they really on bars. If you can rap, like they want to hear you. So yeah.
And through those years, bro, I was watching, like I had my influences, the Jay-Z's, the Cassidys, the Dipsets, all of that. Like these are the people who I'm like really like finding myself in a way, you know what I mean? And then battle rap, that's when I started like really getting into battle rap heavy. Battle rap took my world over because that's when I learned like it's levels, like it's real levels in rapping for real. But yeah, I released my project, my single, my senior year. People was like, yo, this is fire, like this is dope. So and my pops kind of just was like, bro, I was trying to tell you to do this your freshman year, like the whole year you could have had. He's like, he's always been preaching to me like, you a leader, you always trying to get a group or something started, like you a leader. And I never wanted to be the one in the front and center, bro. I always wanted to be like the number two, you know what I'm saying? Like the one that people will be like, man, arguably he probably number one, but I see him playing secondary, he plays secondary. And I was always kind of cool with that. But the older I got, the more I learned, like, nah, bro, no matter what, God he gonna move you to be the leader that you meant to be. You know what I'm saying? Whether you like it or not.
Last and the last shall be first.
You know what I'm saying? And man, I had to learn that the hard way, bro. I've been in part of so many groups and stuff like that. But yeah, from once I graduated, bro, like, my late teens, early 20s into my 20s or whatever, nothing else in life mattered to me except music, bro. Nothing in life mattered. I just, I'm a 2-time dropout. So I went to school for web design when fresh out of high school, not even really wanting to do web design. My parents was kind of on some, you going to college, you know what I'm saying? Like you either going to college, you're gonna get a job, or you going to the military. And
was the music the reason for the you not finishing or dropping out?
Yeah, bro. Ultimately, the music was. I did the web design thing. Not just that. It was a major reason, but doing web design thing, it opened me up to a lot of artists here in Atlanta. I went to Art Institute of Atlanta, so a lot of peers who are in music now, to this day, like that's where I met them at. Even my videographer for my music videos, I met him at Art Institute. So like it just established a lot of my relationships in music to this day. But I got caught up, relationship and just being around the wrong people and not really going to school. I wasn't going to school. Like really wasn't going to school. Like they ended up hitting my mom's up and was like, yeah, his grade point average is super like I was like, man. So I dropped out. Ended up going to a couple months later. I ended up going to barbering school, and that was an experience. It was cool, but same thing there, bro. I just latched on to whoever did music. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, talking to people who did music and stuff like that. And then after a while, like the barbering thing just it wasn't it, bro. It was only a 6-month program and I couldn't even make it through the 6 months, bro. Like I'm talking about like maybe 2-3 months in, I was just like, and I'm someone who operates off of passion. So it's like if I'm doing something, the moment it lose my interest, bro, I'm out. I'm out. Like I'm just checked out. So that was something that I had to go through. I had to get out of that. And once I dropped out of barbering school, I told my parents, I was just like, look, I'm pursuing. That's what it is. I don't care. Like that's that. And they was on that stand at first where they was like, well, you gotta go to the military. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? I went and took that little ASVAB test. Bruh, halfway through the test, I was like, hey man, I'm finna go. I just walked up out of there. I was sitting in the mall and that, because in the malls they be having the little the rooms or whatever. I was taking the test in there. I got halfway through the test and I was just like, bro, what are you doing? Like this ain't, you not finna do this. Like you not about to do this. So I walked about it there. They was blowing me up, calling my phone and stuff, for a little time after that. And I just, from there, bro, I just started being about what I was saying. It's different when you tell somebody, hey, I'm trying to do this, but you got to get out. So that's when I started really going to like doing shows in Atlanta, going to the open mics, linking with other artists, linking with other people who did music, and just finding out the spots to be at and network at. And I did that for a good couple years, bro. A good couple years and years in Atlanta, years, bro. You want me to
So when did the transition happen from you doing, what would you call it, rap, switching to Christian hip hop?
Okay.
Is CHH, is that the proper way to say it? CHH?
Yeah,
Christian?
CHH, Christian hip hop, and then prior to that, I guess they would refer to it as secular music.
Okay. When was the transition?
So secular music, bro, I crossed over from secular music last year.
Okay.
Prior to that, I was always just making music, but I never talked about nothing crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't really talking about like killing or none of that craziness. It was more so always talking about just my internal feelings, the things that I was going through, expression and stuff like that, situations or things that I had experienced. So I always been somewhat relatable to people, always. Is I probably cursed a little bit too much just because pockets where you like, okay, I'm gonna just fill in the curse word here. And then I think that was another thing too, bro. I was like the good guy who just always tried to show that I got a little edge to me too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like always this proven ground in a sense.
Was it difficult?
Absolutely, bro, because I had just came out of a situation. So that goes back to how we was talking before this whole thing started. The jersey that me and wifey was wearing, bro. So ultimately what made me transition was I had so many hiccups over the years of trying to make it in the music biz and like getting close, and then like something just kind of shaking my whole core as far as like, just learning that behind the industry, they real judgmental, they real opinionated. Nobody really know what they talking about, but they talk to you like they know what they talking about. And it's like a bunch of gatekeepers, you know what I'm saying? In a sense, it's like everybody feel like if they say so or if they say nah, like that's just what it is, and that's not the case. I always knew that, but after so many years of that, it kind of just get to you. It make you feel like, okay, well, I know myself. I know what I'm capable of. I know who God made me to be. But at the same time, when you got people in positions that hold a certain ranking in the business, and they start no, you ain't got this, you ain't got that, it kind of chip away at your confidence. You know what I'm saying? So like, them jerseys. I was supposed to open up for Chris Brown and Lil Baby last year. Yeah, last year I was supposed to open up for Chris Brown and Lil Baby for their tour. And it was like a big thing, bro. Like I'm talking about, I promoted this thing for like 2-3 months, bro. Like I got, they told me I could bring 10 people with me. You know what I'm saying? So of course I got my wife, I got my sister, and I got a couple of the homies. I'm putting everybody on. I got a 30-minute set. So I'm like, oh, bet a 30-minute set. I'm bringing the whole family. I'm bringing the whole family. Like we about to do this. I had family buy tickets for the show, and everything. So we get to the show, bro. We done copped the RV. Not an RV. I'm capping. Not an RV. We copped one of them Sprinter vans. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Got everybody in the Sprinter van. It's like lit, bro. This about to change my life. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, God, you done gave me this opportunity. I'm thankful. Like I'm about to go out here and I'm about to show out. You know what I'm saying? So we get there, bro, and they let us in. We drive into like the area where the artists park at and stuff, and we get stopped by security. And my homie is driving the Sprinter van. I'm in the back seat, but my homie driving it. He rolled the window down. They like, you got your credentials? And I'm like, hey man, I'm the artist on the set. I'm like, I talked to Blase Blah. They said I was on whoop-de-whoop. And he was like, I don't, like, if you ain't got your credentials, this and that. And I'm like, to me, bro, I'm like, this is my first time having this big of an opening position. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I don't know nothing about credentials unless somebody tell me, hey, you need to have credentials. You know what I'm saying? So this is my first time ever hearing about credentials. So, dude, they like, yeah, you need to have credentials. So now at this point, I get out the Sprinter van because I'm like, I gotta talk to somebody because this ain't cool. Got 10 people on this point. We done spent money. You know what I'm saying? All of that. So I'm bouncing around. I'm talking to security. I'm like, hey, yeah, I talked to Blase Blah. You know this person? I'm trying to call the dude who gave me the spot. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to call him. His phone going to voicemail. I'm like, bro, stop playing, bro. So I probably talked to like 15 to 20 different security guards, bro. They all rejected me. Like, I don't know who that is. Nah, bro, we can't. We can't let you in. You gotta have credentials, dude. So, bro, you can imagine I got a Sprinter van full of people who was like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm out there looking like just crazy, bouncing around to different people getting denied, man. And I finally catch one of the DJs who's like, I want to say he was like either Chris Brown DJ or what's the comedian guy name? The light-skinned dude. Dang, I forget, but I think it was like a Chris Brown DJ or something like that. And he's like, hey, bro, they removed all the opening acts. And I was like, wait, what? I said, bro, no, that can't be. I said, I talked to Blase Blah. They said I was opening. He's like, yeah, bro. He was like, I'm gonna show you the list. And he had the backstage, like, they have the list basically that breaks down the time slots of the performances and stuff like that. And they had scratched out all the opening acts. And basically it was like a fail of communication from the promoter's aspect. The promoter never let me know. He was supposed to let me know like a week in advance, but they said that the people had like a monkeypox outbreak. This was when monkeypox was like big, like, so, bruh, I get back on the van, bro. Of course, got to break the news to everybody. Right. You got some of them who take it on the chin. You know what I'm saying? And you got some of them that's just like, you could tell they soul left their body, bro. Like, just they was and I was the same way. I ain't even going front, bro. I was like, that was a
big opportunity for you to get on stage.
I'm like, God, listen. Bro. I'm rocking with you. But I'm like, at the same time, bro, why would you make me tell all these people that I got this show opportunity all to not have this thing happen, bro? Like, do you know what I got to do now and go back and tell these people that it didn't happen? They waiting for pictures and videos and all of that. Like, why would you put me through that? So we do that, man. And we get back to the crib. Like the day was what it was. After that, we turned around, we left. We took some people home. We took some people back to the location where we had all the cars parked at. Some people hopped out and went home. They just wasn't trying to mingle and kick it. And some people, we went out to eat. The only thing we know how to do, fellowship. Just go kick it. You know what I'm saying? Have a good, try to make the best of the storm, bro. And we went out, we ate, we kicked it. And it was cool, bro. It was cool. I'm appreciative of the people who was there because they really made the day be a lot better than what I was feeling at the moment. Yeah. But I say, bro, like I just threw it all, man, even though I was like,
do you think God didn't allow that to happen because he knew the greater and knew the things that he had for you that's happening?
100%, bro. I think that God was just my revelation of it, or my understanding of it, was God was just showing me like, this is this is what I got for you. Like, you gonna be at this level. It's just, I don't want you in front of that crowd. Like, I don't want you in that company. Like, I want you doing something different and bigger. I'm gonna have you so much bigger. And that's honestly, bro, when I made the post on social media, because I got to the crib after we ate. I got to the crib. I posted online because my wife, she was trying to be so supportive, man. God bless her. She was trying to be so supportive. She was telling me to take pictures. She's like, try and take some pictures for content. And bro, like my I'm just like numb, bro. Like I was just numb, bro. Like, so I ended up, we tried to get some videos, but I couldn't do no videos. So she ended up taking some pictures. I used the pictures. I posted it online with a long message, just breaking down like what happened, what didn't happen. And I was just like, hey, through it all, God, I still trust you. Like, ain't no point in stopping what I was doing now just because of this one opportunity falling through. Yeah. Not to mention, stuff like that has always happened throughout my career. Always happened. It's literally always happened. So, but that was the biggest thing. That was ground shaking. Like, some of my homies who was on that bus, they don't even make music no more because of what happened that day. Like, they just was like, I'm done making music. Yeah. So, I just was like, God, I trust you. And believe it or not, most of the comments, I want to say a good 90% of the comments that people was leaving, they was just like, man, like, boy, you don't know how blessed you are. You don't know what God about to do for you. Like, you really about to go up. You really about to go up. The first comment I seen when I got back on there was somebody who went to the show and was like, boy, you ain't performed. Man, when I seen it, bro, I just logged off social media. I was like, yep, I ain't doing this today. I gotta wait a couple more days. I'll get back to it. But I eventually came back around, bro, and just acted like none of it ever happened, bro. I got rid of the flyers and stuff off my page, bro, and I just kept pushing like nothing ever happened, bro. And it was humbling. It showed me a lot about myself too. It showed me a lot about myself, bro, because, like I said, like, stuff like that always be happening to me, bro. I'd be like the 1%, bro. Like, of all the things that could have happened, bro, of all the worst case scenarios, the worst case scenario happened to me. But once I crossed over, bro, after that, that was the reason, that happened. And it kind of shook my career in the sense of me just being like, God, I thought things were clear when I got that opportunity. I thought things were clear between you and I. But I'm like, evidently, I need to draw closer to you so that I can get more, so I can know for sure when you're saying something to me. So but
you didn't even have a mindset like that back then. Before that's even saying something that you already kind of knew. Something was burning and drilling on the inside. That shake stirs something up to come out.
Yeah, and I think since I've crossed over, bro, I always be in interviews talking about, God ain't telling me to be no Christian rapper. God ain't telling me to be no Christian rapper. But the more I think about it, bro, I feel like for that happening, like, I would have never thought to just be like, oh, well, let me respond to this situation with becoming a Christian rapper and making music for God. So for that just being a thought, I remember my wife kind of saying something to me about it, because one of her friends was like, I could see your husband being a Christian rapper or something like that. And she said it. I was just like, whatever. Like, you know, like what? And then my wife was kind of just like, well, just start listening to Christian artists. Like it's different Christian artists that's different. So I started listening to them. And I'm like, oh snap, like they really do got some fire Christian artists. Like this is dope. And this was the time that we started coming to Embassy too. Like we were about to start going to Embassy. We hadn't even really went yet. So I finally
speak of Embassy, you mean Embassy City in Atlanta, right? Apostle
City, bro, like that I wasn't going to Embassy yet, bro. And we were about to. We had got invited, but we hadn't really decided on it yet. And I'm in transition. I'm listening to a whole bunch of Christian artists. And now it's to the point that I'm listening to so many Christian artists that I'm deleting the secular artists off of my pages. Like I just started unfollowing. I probably unfollowed like 500 people in the midst of like a week, bro. Like just a whole bunch of people.
And you tying right into where I wanted to go next. Look at the Holy Spirit on everything.
I'm listening to nothing but Christian hip hop, bro. And I'm like, yo, maybe I could do this. I'm like, maybe I could do this. Like, I'm thinking I could do this. I'm waking up every morning, bro, and I'm listening to the Christian hip hop music, and I'm just like, bro, it's not that hard. Like, I could do this. It would just, you know, it would really just be me turning to God more, you know, which would different because I ain't never had the relationship that I have with God now. Like, this is way deeper, you know. And I'm just like, okay, maybe I should start doing that. And I'm one of them people, bro, that when I decide I'm gonna do something, I'm like the cold turkey person. Like I'll stop everything. I'm the extremist. I'll go all the way, go all out for it. So that's what I did, bro. I just unfollow every secular artist that I pretty much was following that I felt like if they weren't influence to me, or if I felt like I couldn't really gain anything from them, I just stopped following them. And then I started following a whole bunch of Christian hip hop artists. And then we started finally going to Embassy. And we probably went to 2 different services. We ended up joining. And then I heard about this Soul Case, which was like the open mic for the church. And they was like, yeah, you know, the winner gets this, this, and that. And I was like, I think it's time. And that's when I was like, all right. At the time, bro, I hadn't even created no Christian music yet. I just was like, I'm gonna sign. My wife actually, she was like, you need to sign up for it. You need to sign up for it. And I was just like, I ain't got no music that I could do. And she was like, well, you know, now this is gonna make you create some music for it. And I was just like, the pressure. So I turned around, bro. I signed up for it. And then once I signed up for it, I was like, now I gotta make some music. And I ended up writing Tap In. And Tap In so happened to win the whole show, bro. Like Tap In was what won the whole show. When they called, and when I tell you, bro, when I tell you that I knew that was God, for me, I know it was just the open mic. I know it was just a Christian open mic, but for me, bro, the Soul Case was so special to me because I had done so many contests in my career. In my 20 plus years of doing music, bro, I had done so many contests in my career and I had never, ever won first place for anything. So I'm already walking into this competition like, I just want to show them what I could do. I don't care about winning first place. And bro, when I tell you, when they said the first place winner and they called my name, I just froze. I was like, okay, like God, this how we doing it? This what we doing?
And it's so ironic. The name of the song was Tapping In, and that was you tapping into your CHH, being a Christian hip hop, started a career, your first song winning.
Yeah. And it literally, you know, how I create my music, bro. I always tell people like it's usually if you're listening to a song, it's usually within the time span of what I'm going through, the timeline of what I'm going through. And Tap In was exactly that, bro. Everything I was saying in Tap In was so fitting for that time in my life, bro. It was talking about not having a relationship with God, everything that I went through, and then finally establishing a relationship with God and God telling me to tap in like, hey, I'm tugging on you, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, bro, it just opened up so many avenues for me for real.
So when I had before I ask you this second question, I'm gonna tell you about something. Like when I seen you at church, like I had seen the video the first Sunday where they played the song "I'll Be Your Temple." So when
Yeah.
they play "I'll Be Your Temple," and then you kept on, you was spitting. I'm like, oh dang, dude can flow, you know what I mean? Then I liked it, the other ones and stuff too. But I didn't never put you with the guy I seen at church with his wife. Just be looking at the young men worship and just seeing how your worship was, and you was being for real. So now I match it up with, oh, that side of the rapper, and he worship, it's real, it ain't no playing. I had a guy, like when I really got serious with my relationship with God, and I said I'm gonna walk 100%, I ain't gonna be lukewarm. I was like looking at people who really did it, that was my age, that had the different things that I was equipped to, being a star athlete, being popular and all like that, being like how I'm gonna transition and be real so I don't keep going back and forth. My friend Mike Chalk, he was from Toledo, he had moved to Columbus. He used to rap, but then he changed his life, got married, and was living for real for God. I'm like, he was popular, star athlete, multiple sports, and he was rapping, and his rapping matched his faith and his walk with God. So I'm like, man, it can be done. And then he started turning me on to the different Christian hip hop people, because I wanted to listen to something different. And hit that one of his pastor's son is Javez Ellis out of Columbus. He rapped too. He had like features with Paris Sharez, 1K Fruit. So he was telling me about KB. And so he turned me on. So I'm like, man, I can't listen, because I liked it, the rap music. I liked it, the Gucci's, the trap beats, the 808s. So when I start hearing that, I'm like, man, I can get hip to this. Aha Gazelle, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
man, you know what I mean? So I started knowing that it's real. So me seeing you and seeing your worship, it matched. So I know it was authentic. So like my question to you is, what's your thoughts about rappers switching to Christian hip hop, trying to find a lane because they can't make it in the regular hip hop, but they're not for real about God. They're just doing it because they can't make it over there, or they're saying I can get a bag over here because it's not working. What's your thoughts on that?
I think it's a lot of that. I think even I don't know if you was at this last Create event over the weekend, but they was talking about imposter syndrome, and they was talking about like basically what imposter syndrome looks like. And bro, I'm not gonna lie, like when I crossed over, I created Tap In. Tap In was great. Tap In was doing what it needed to do. But I think shortly after Tap In, I want to say maybe around the time I did Living a Lie, I was thinking the same thing, bro, because I had came across a couple interviews of people talking about that topic in particular, basically saying how it's a lot of dudes crossing over because they're talented and they can make music, but they not like, they only doing it for God because they recognize that the challenge ain't really over here on this side, which one I disagree with, because there's a whole bunch of dudes over here spitting for real. Like you got the J Monties, you got the KBs, Lecrae's, they spit for real, you know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't necessarily.
Joey Vontaze.
Huh?
I said, I even mess with Joey Vontaze. He cool. That's how you say his name, guy.
I think that whole thing about dudes not really having, them not really having a challenge over here is crazy. But I will say, bro, somebody says something about like, it's a lot of artists who are talented that make CHH music and they do it for God, but the music is not anointed. And I think that's the difference. I think that's the difference. I think that if it's not anointed, you could tell, bro. And it won't make you feel like I always say my goal, it's great that people can relate to it, but like my goal after listening to my music is like, I want you to draw closer to Christ. You know what I'm saying? Like I want you to feel, even if you relate to it to a sense to where you feel convicted and it's like, all right, I really need to tap in with God. I really need to listen to God, or I really need to go read my word or something like that. But if it's not doing that, bro, then I just feel like it's you gonna be able to tell. And there's plenty of music. Don't be wrong. I listen to it.
In the music as well, and diluting the kingdom, as well, because people can't tell, like the baby Christians, the people that's new beginners, they're seeing the facade that ain't real, so they're gonna follow and connect to these people, and like you saying, the oil not flowing. So if the oil ain't flowing, they're not gonna grow.
Here's the thing though. I don't think that is wrong, right? And here's my reasoning behind it. I feel like someone who is on their walk, I feel like it's no different than finding a pastor that's surface level.
Yeah.
As long as they can preach the word at surface level, if you're not spiritually advanced, or you're not at a certain level where you can understand the deeper spiritual stuff, then you would appreciate somebody just mentioning God here and there, and they not really, it's not really anointed for real. And this is no offense, but this is just an example. Like before I was under Apostle Brian Meadows, I was listening to Mike Todd, and I feel like Mike Todd was great, bro. I feel like his messages were clear. I love the illustration. I looked at myself as an honorary member of, actually, we had signed up to Transformation Church, you know what I'm saying? But once I came across Brian Meadows, I was like, oh, it's levels to this spirituality, like this spiritual stuff. Like it's real levels to this. Like you could stay surface level and these messages will just help you on your, your momentary stuff. But it's like you really got to do the work. And I feel like that's what I feel like Apostle is a real good teacher, bro. I feel like he's a depth teacher. He teaches you to the more advanced stuff. You know what I mean? But it's the same thing with the music, bro. I think that you're gonna have the artists who are anointed and they really they tug on your spiritual awareness and stuff like that. But then you're gonna have the artists that just mention God. And to me, bro, when in a world that mentions nothing but death and sex and everything else, if you mentioning God, I'm cool with that, bro. I'm cool with that. I would hope that in that, someone is getting delivered and someone is getting brought to Christ. But if not, I'm still cool with that, because at least it's not, the negative stuff that we hear everywhere else.
Mm-hmm. So since we talking about this, I'm gonna go ahead and segue over to some Pastor Apostle Brian Meadows I said. So for those who watching or check, download the Brian Meadows Ministry app. Great content. It'll give you a revelation. You'll be able to see the anointed man of God that's on fire. And this is something that he was talking about on one of his sections called Preacher the Artist.